Welcome to part 2 of starting a car dealership, getting my dealer's license on a shoestring budget. Geez, I need a better title than that. My name is Craig, and you're going to join me along the way as we learn how to get our dealer's license, start a dealership, and get access to dealer auctions so we can buy cars wholesale all across the country. I live in Florida, but whether you live in Florida, New Hampshire, Missouri, Minnesota, or California, this video and this series is going to apply to you. Now, in last episode, we were at our town hall, tax collector, DMV, RMV, whatever you call it, for the dealer desk so we can get the requirements to getting your dealer's license. And in today's video, part 2, we are going to find a location. This is 1 year in the making. All the research I've done, you're gonna join me in this episode as we find our location. And teaser, at the end of this video, I'm gonna show you what we came up with. So without further delay, let's just jump into it. This video is 1 year in the making. It took me an entire year to research, drive around, explore, figure out everything I need to do to make this video. I am starting a car dealership over with nothing, from scratch, from the basics, and you're gonna join with me in my newest series. 1 year ago, I left a very profitable, very lucrative car dealership that I built from the ground up in New Hampshire so I could go to sunnier pastures and be able to drive things like this every day, 12 months a year. But I gave up a lot, including a business that I created from the ground up that paid for my lake house, paid for my home, paid for all my bills, paid for all of our vacations, and put a nice savings in our pocket. I left it all behind. And in this series, I am going to start a car dealership from scratch. And in today's video, we are going to find a location. Why did it take me a year? It has been really difficult to explore, learn how the system works, how prices work, and really shop around to see what was affordable because we are doing this on a shoestring budget. I have the money to go out and start a car dealership and make it phenomenal. I'm not doing that. We're starting from scratch. We're starting with little to no money. We're gonna do it on a budget so everyone out there can see how it's done. Craig, why are you standing in a giant industrial parking lot? Well, I started flying wheels in an industrial space, in a warehouse, just like one of these 15 plus years ago. And for the past 6 months, I've had cars stored right over there. I had 8 vehicles, well, 6 vehicles and 2 golf carts stored right over there for months. I've been buying and selling cars wholesale, which means buying from the public and selling them to other dealers, or buying from auction or other dealers and selling them to dealers at auction. That isn't profitable though. That isn't the way to do business. It was easy. It was easy money, but it wasn't a lot of money. The money is made in retail sales, selling to the public. We're talking about going from selling cars $500 in profit to cars for $35,000 and $4,000 in profit in one sale, which is absolutely amazing. Yes, there are more headaches, but there's so much more money in retail sales. And to be quite honest with you, although I hate working with the public and I don't love retail sales, I do love all that cash it brings in, and I miss it. And we're gonna start our car dealership from scratch again, starting with a location. So each one of these units is an industrial space. Industrial meaning it is zoned for pretty much anything, commercial, industrial, light industrial, you name it. As long as you're not living there, you can pretty much do whatever you want in these units. That's where we're starting. So these units are super simple to get your dealer's license from. A lot of states have different laws, different requirements, but just about anything goes in a commercial industrial complex like this. I own one, and it is phenomenal. It's where I started my business. So I told you just a minute ago, I had 8 vehicles, 6 cars and 2 golf carts right here for months. And this is my overflow. This is my storage. This is where I keep my truck and trailer when I needed it. I live 2 miles up the road from here, which was incredible. I could shoot right over, swap cars. I could shoot right over here, get my truck and trailer, do whatever I needed right here. Now, the reason I was able to do this was because a friend was renting this space and he didn't need these parking spaces. So he used this for his business. And then he said, hey, Craig, I have all this. Just use it. It's a favor. Go ahead, use it. So I did, and it was wonderful. Now, we're looking for a new space. He sold his business, he moved out of here, so we need to find a new location for parking in this video. The rent here is $6,500 a month with a 3-year required lease. $6,500 every month with zero exposure, meaning no customers are driving by. No one's just gonna pop in and see your car. Everything's by appointment. And I have to sell $6,500 in profit before I see a dime. That's a heavy nut to crack, and honestly, it's just stressful. I'm gonna be working to live, or living to work, whatever, I don't know, but I don't wanna live to work. I wanna work to live. Yeah, that's how it goes. The lease is too expensive here, and I can't guarantee 3 years here either. So now that my cars aren't here, we're gonna move on, and I'm gonna show you how I've been shopping for an inexpensive, budget-friendly location that I can work out of and get my dealer's license. So let's move on to the next spot. Now, I told you this video is a year in the making. It's because I had to shop, I had to learn what licensing requirements were, and honestly, there really isn't a lot of inexpensive space available. So it's been really difficult to try to find a place that qualifies me for my retail license. And also, I had Flying Wheels up north, so I wasn't ready to have 2 car dealerships. But now that Flying Wheels North has slowed down, we're going to restart it down here, get our dealer's license, get plates, get the insurance. The whole thing is going to be running from Florida shortly. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you what I settled on, what we came up with. We did find a location that took a year, and I'm going to show you everything we looked at over the past year as well, and where we're going to start our car dealership. Here's one of the reasons why it took me a year to find a location. See this industrial park? Here's dozens of units, all of them occupied. Anything that's affordable, like 1,200, 1,500 square feet, they're all taken. They're all taken up. I want one of these so badly, or 2 of them. And to be honest with you, long term, I want to own all of them. This is retirement right here. I want to own these, but they're all occupied. And there's a lease sign right there. And every time I call, he says, they're taken up, none available. Call me next month. And every month I call and I get the same exact answer. Look at all those cars over there. This guy has an amazing shop. And the reason I keep going to industrial is because people leave you alone. I don't want to be retail. I don't want people just popping in all the time. Look at all this parking right here. This is where I want to be, but nothing ever opens up here. People get in here and they stay here. So it's so difficult to find an inexpensive spot like this. And when you get it, you hang on to it. Just like my warehouse that I own in New Hampshire, those people get in and they don't leave because it's so hard to find reasonably priced industrial space. And again, people leave you alone in industrial warehouse. You do whatever you want, it's great. So let's move on to the next location that I've been looking for. So we've already done our research. We've found out what the requirements are. And the first step to getting your dealer's license is finding a commercial location. Now, when I lived in Florida originally, I was able to find an industrial storage building, basically a storage unit that was unfenced, open to the public 24 hours a day. And I think my rent was $350 a month. And that qualified me for my dealer's license. Now, the requirements are you have to have inside space with an office. My storage warehouse, I put a desk in the warehouse and I had a space for a car, and that's all I needed. I need something bigger than that because I do need some parking. So we're gonna be looking for something with a lot of parking, hopefully. Now, this video I told you is a year in the making, so I'm gonna kind of jump back and forth to show you what I've been up to for the past year and show you what I have found and ideas that are crossing my mind. Now, I said it in video number 1, I don't wanna just spend $5,000 a month on a lease or on rent. I wanna do this with little to no overhead. I wanna do this on a shoestring budget. My brother Adam, altogether, I helped him start his car dealership, get his dealer's license. He did it on his own. I just kind of guided him along the way. He was able to do it out of his own home, which is amazing because he has literally no overhead. But the reason he could do that was because he got a variance for his property. He lives on a commercial road. He lives on a busy main road. He approached the town hall and he was able to get his dealer's license from his home garage that's detached from his house on a main road. He rezoned the garage. There's a whole video in my other channel, how to start your dealership, how to get your dealer's license, which is a link in the description if you want to follow that channel, how he got his variance, how he got rezoned at his home to start his dealership at home. It's incredible. But I have a few places we're going to head to right now. I'm going to show you my thoughts of what I've come up with. So before we even dive into our search live, let's go right on Marketplace and we're just going to type in, let's try industrial and see what comes up is industrial. So clearly I didn't type the right thing in, but industrial warehouse, now that's too far. 25 miles. I don't want to be driving 25 miles, 35 miles to West Palm Beach, although that looks amazing. I'm not interested. Small Bay Industrial, $225,000. I don't want to buy that. Here we go. Oh, 22 miles for Fort Pierce, a lot in Fort Pierce, which is just too far from me. I don't want to drive that far to go show a car and then have somebody walk away. Port St. Lucie, 14 miles, $1,400. Now this is right up our alley. I noticed the county above us, which is St. Lucie County, is a lot less expensive. We're getting probably 2 cars. You can get a lift and 2 more cars, so maybe 3 cars in here for $1,400. Commercial industrial corner warehouse with restroom for $1,400. That's not really gonna work. $3,000 auto dealer approved. Like, this is what we're looking for. This is the stuff we want. Auto dealer approved already. You can see there's the garage to enter, the bathroom, or that's the office right there, and this is the garage space. This is literally the unit I started my dealership with. Like, this is what it looked like. Here's the front office with a couch. I don't know why you have a couch unless you're shooting weird videos. Has a bathroom, 1,100 square feet. Yep, my first unit was 1,140 square feet. Move-in ready. Space permits auto dealers with minor repair, but it's in West Palm. That's too far for me. So here is my next option. You'll see rental office. Each one of these is a single unit. This is a real option. This is how I started my first car dealership. Each of these, it's like 10 by 20. So you get 10 feet wide, 20 feet deep. It's about a car's width, and you can kind of put a desk to make an office. This is roughly, I think it's $600 a month. So I could rent this just a few miles from my house, $600 a month, but it fits 1 car. Again, this is how I started my very first car dealership in Florida. You can see there's no fence, so it's open to the public. Anybody can come in and out, and that's one of the rules, one of the requirements. It is not public storage, although people can use it for storage. Each one of these are used for like garage space or like a mechanic shop. Someone as a hobbyist, they can use these. Now, I turned down one of these units because there's no parking. I can't park anything out here. I can fit 1 car and 1 car only. So yeah, I can get my dealer's license here, but that's as far as I could go. That's as far as I could do. That's as much as I could do. Now, again, I told you we're doing this on a shoestring budget. We're starting from nothing, but the end goal, what I want at the end of the tunnel, is this right here: gated office, multiple bays. I want lots of parking, and still private. I don't want people just showing up. I do want to show by appointment. I love this location, and it looks vacant every time I go by it. So my end goal is to find something like this that's been vacant for a while, that hasn't been used, and eventually purchase something like that. I don't want to rent anymore. I want to purchase something like that. And a lot of times the best way to get your foot in the door for a purchase is to rent first. That's how I bought my 8-unit industrial building in New Hampshire. I rented first, got in with the owners really well, got to know them really well, and when they were ready to sell, I put the bug in the ear and said, hey guys, when you want to sell it, call me. When you want to sell it, tell me. When you're ready to sell it, let me know. And they did, and that's how I ended up with it. So you might not find that purchase location right off the bat, but you can rent to start, and then just put the bug in the ear. Hey, when you're ready to sell, please let me be the first one that you inform. All right, last thing for tonight, and then tomorrow we're gonna show you our new location. Last thing for tonight, I'm gonna show you what I've been up to for the past year. Right behind these gates would not qualify for a dealer's license, again, because it's gated, there is no public access, but this is public storage. This is what I've been using to store my vehicles when I need extra space. Well, you may recognize this truck, my Cummins Ram, and that trailer right there. Inside there is a car, so we have a truck, a trailer, and a car inside. I pay for 1 spot, truck and trailer parking, which gives me 3 spots eventually, because that's essentially inside storage. I said essentially twice. Now you'll see behind me, there are so many vehicles being parked here. It's because a lot of Florida is HOA. They have a lot of rules, a lot of regulations. Number one, this would never fit in my new house, but my previous house had a big enough driveway, but that isn't allowed even in the neighborhood, forget the driveway. So I had to find a place for the past year to park my truck and trailer. Now, I showed you the industrial park that I had things parked at. That wasn't available to me a year ago when I moved here. So I had to think outside the box. I had to be resourceful, and I had to figure out a way to park vehicles when I don't have space to park vehicles. So I popped into multiple storage facilities to see who has space available. Outdoor parking for trucks and trailers, as well as indoor parking for vehicles. So I rent 2 of these units to keep 1 car in each unit, and then I have a truck trailer with a car in the trailer. So we have 3 over there for 5 spaces here. Now, I can't show customers' cars. I can't conduct business here. This is strictly for storage, and sometimes I tinker around with my cars here, and that is as far as it goes. I cannot get a dealer's license here. Now the rates have increased. I pay roughly $750 for these spaces to fit 5 cars or 4 cars with a trailer. I pay $750 a month without being able to conduct business here. So it gets really, really expensive to just store cars. But it's gated, it's safe. I know they're not going anywhere. And when you have projects, sometimes things get put on backlog, like I might be waiting for parts. Inside one of these, I have my Mustang GT. That car I bought like 4 months ago and I haven't even touched because I've had other projects. So I need space for cars. When I find a great deal, I buy it and it might sit for a little while. It goes in storage. Now I'm ready to conduct business. I'm ready to get my license. So I need a place where I can just work out of. I've done this for a year. It's time to move on. It's night now. Tomorrow, I'm gonna take you to some of the places that I looked at, how I found them, and show you my actual location. And we're gonna get started on our dealer's license.
The next day.
Now, as you can see, there are 4 lease signs, property management signs, commercial real estate for sale all over town. There's another one right here too. Oh my goodness, did you guys just see that car jump the curb? That was crazy. Properties everywhere for lease, but I don't want, there's another one available for lease behind that too. There are so many properties for lease and available, but again, I don't want a $5,000 a month lease. We're trying to keep things cheap. We're trying to keep things inexpensive so we can survive without being stressed out all the time. And that's the hardest part for me this year. I could have found 100 places, but I don't want to live beyond my means. I don't want to work to live. I want to live, wait, I said that wrong. I don't want to live to work. I just want to work enough to live, enjoy myself without being stressed. If I want to go away for a weekend, I can. And if I don't want to work on a Saturday, I can. So here's just something I'm thinking. I need parking more than I need inside storage. Inside storage is expensive. To fit 5, 10, 15 cars, you're talking 3,000 square feet, and that is a lot of money. So if I can get a small building, small unit, which Florida doesn't require a very big inside unit, but parking outside, that's ideal. So that right there is my gym. You can actually see those people running over there. That's where I go to the gym. And look at all of this parking. If I could rent like 1,000 square foot unit and have all this parking, like this is a U-Haul company or a budget rental company, Budget uses all of this for their parking. So they rent one small unit and they rent all of this. That's a liquor store, but all of that right there is wide open, unused parking. You can see it all over there. Unused parking. That's really what I need. And then all this unused parking. The problem with this is it is just in the wide open. Like people can do, take, steal, do whatever they want to anything I leave out here, which is a little scary for me. So this is kind of out of the question, although the parking would be ideal for me. Now I have to be somewhat centrally located to here because there is an auction right up the road and there's also a CarMax right up the road that way. So a lot of my inventory is gonna come from around here. And I don't have Papa Al every Thursday with me hanging out, who's my grandfather up in New Hampshire. He was with me every Thursday helping me move cars, helping me build my business. I don't have that. This is just me with a trailer, so I need to be somewhat local to the auctions so my transportation costs don't go nuts. Now, if you look right here, this public storage unit, it's fenced in. It's not gonna work because it is not open to the public. However, across the street, these are for lease. And if I look right there, for lease, $450 a month for an office unit right there. Now there's no parking. Office is $450 a month, which is a requirement in my state. So if I can get that office for $450 a month and then 2 parking spots, you're talking about qualifying to get a dealer's license for $450 every month. Now the problem is you can only sell 2 cars at a time. Like, what am I supposed to do? I need parking. That's my biggest problem. I need to park my cars. So that office, even though it's cheap, is kind of out of the question for me. Now this right here is my motivation. Look at the space this guy has with all that storage and all those garages. Oh my goodness, all that prep space for the extra cars. And then he has his front line out here. This is a beautiful, beautiful shop. I can't even imagine what overhead, what rent is on a place like this right in downtown. Now, speaking of downtown, I want to show you what I'm thinking in the meantime. Now, I purchased a piece of land over here a year ago that we will be building a duplex on. I've already done a video about that. But in the meantime, for a year, it's been vacant. This right here, I own this. It's costing me nothing right now, and it's pretty big. The problem is, it's not a great area. Now, I'm not saying anything about race, nothing. It has nothing to do with any specific color or anything. Just predominantly, it's just that this area it has a higher crime rate than a majority of the surrounding areas in my town. I wouldn't trust leaving like my Mustang in the yard. I wouldn't trust leaving my cars here, honestly. I'm just gonna say it that way. I'm not saying that anybody would do anything with it, but it's just, you know, who knows? I'm not around here regularly to be able to watch the vehicles. So I can't supervise them. I'm not gonna be able to check on them every single day. So it's just kind of out of the question to just park cars on the property. The town has these units available. You can see A1 Auto. They have a couple cars, but not a lot of parking. These types of units are all over town. Do you know if any of these units are vacant?
I see one now, so here today.
Oh, really?
And the one next door was vacant. The other two, the gourmet guy has.
How many spaces do they give you here?
It's all according to what you. I mean, I got 3 lifts in the back,
Oh, nice.
and 2 inside.
Oh,
The other electrician, he's there. This one just rented today. That one there is goes about. I think yours is about right here. It goes to about the middle of those 2 windows, somewhere in that area. Been a while. She's been out there for a little while.
Oh, nice. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate the help. So these units are everywhere, all over town, and he had just told me that one's coming up for lease. So you'll notice that I started conversation. I asked the right questions, which at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how I found my property. Just ask, hey, you know of any units available? How much is the lease here? How's the landlord? How's the location? Do you know if there are any restrictions? Ask the appropriate questions. Be friendly. Don't be weird like I was walking around with a camera. That's weird, which is why I said hello, so I don't come off as threatening and that's like, hey, what's up with this guy with the camera? That's weird. But yeah, he said one of the units is going up for lease, and like, if I look at what this electrical guy has like 6 cars right there, plus this corner right here. He has tons of parking. And this car dealer over here, he has all the back space right there as well. Now, I had mentioned I want to keep it cheap, and that isn't cheap. That's $2,500 a month for that spot. And I don't really want to drop $2,500 a month yet just to start. That's a pretty big nut to crack when you're starting your business. Now, these units would qualify as well. You'll see they have the big overhead door, they have the front door. This isn't a retail location. Industrial parks are a great place to look because you can find some smaller units. Like this right here is an office, storage as wide as the building, and then it probably comes with 2 parking spaces. So you don't get a ton of space to be selling cars, which is tough. Like in one of these, you might be able to fit 2 or 3 cars per unit. Get a lift in there, you could put, like these right here, if you get 1 unit with the office, you'll have 2 parking spaces, and then you could probably put 2 cars inside. So 1 in the back, get a lift, put 1 up on the lift, and then 1 in the front. So 3 cars inside, 4, 5, maybe 6 cars right there. And then if these are available, you can get these spaces from the landlord as well. So industrial space is kind of where I'm looking. And you can see how different Florida is from like my New Hampshire. I have unlimited parking. I can put cars anywhere I want. These guys are parking them behind their garage bay. They're parking them on the grass. They're just trying to find space wherever they can, trying to make space wherever they can, which is really scary for me because I could go to the auction and buy 11 cars in a day in New Hampshire and have no fear of where I'm going to put those vehicles. I could come home and say, hey, Lauren, bought 11 cars, let's go move them all, and we can put them anywhere. I have land, I have space, I have 30 cars on my lot with a cheap. It just stinks that I left something pretty amazing. For now, I'm looking at tight quarters. I'm going to teach you 2 tricks. Now, when I started my first car dealership in New Hampshire, I told you it was in an industrial warehouse. The rent was $950 a month. It was so simple. I actually split the rent with my brother and father, so it was like completely risk-free to get started when we started in New Hampshire. We outgrew that location, but everyone wanted $500,000 for their business, for their garage, for their location, for everything. It was just unaffordable. It didn't make any sense, but I wanted to own land. I stumbled across my location in Danville. It was vacant, much like this right here. That is downtown Stewart. This is a 2-bay garage with an office with some parking right across from downtown, completely vacant. And to be honest with you, it's pretty gross. The roof needs to be done. Just the trim is all coming off. The soffits are all rotted. And then inside we can see that there's some water damage on the floor. So clearly the roof is leaking. If you look at the roof, it's falling apart. It actually looks a lot like Flying Wheels. It's my colors too, gray, white, and red. And then if you walk over here, the whole place needs to be redone. But this is what I do with cars. I'd be happy to do it with a property. Look at the office. It was one time in its glory a decent place. Has cars on the ceiling. See up there on the ceiling? See the cars on the ceiling up there? This is pretty much what I want. Going over here, parking here, has the spot for the sign already, has some palm trees, and then some on-street parking too if I needed it. This is how I bought my first building. I found the ugly that wasn't for sale. There's no for sale sign on this anywhere. I found the address. I went to my town tax assessor, gave him the address, which I did on this property. So I'm gonna get to this in a minute. So I looked up the address, Googled the address, couldn't find the homeowner or the landowner, so I went to the county tax assessor's website, typed in the address, found the owner, did some real FBI searching, Googled the owner, couldn't find any information. Eventually I found like a name similar on Facebook, looked that up, and I was able to track her business, called her business, asked if she knew this person. She said, yes, this is my husband. Got the husband's phone number because I said I'm interested in buying the property, if he'd be interested in selling it. And then he said, no, I'm not interested in selling it. I actually have plans to demo it. We're building a restaurant or something. So he's putting a restaurant. So he's putting a nicer business in downtown. So unfortunately, he's getting rid of this, which would be so perfect for me. I find the ugly. This place has been vacant for, who knows, looks like years. This is the stuff I want. This is how I got Danville. I found the man's name. He didn't have a phone number. I sent him a handwritten letter. Said, I'm interested in your property. It looks abandoned. Would you be interested in selling? I gave him my phone number. From there, he called me and we negotiated, and I am buying the property from him. No realtors, just scored it. And that's how I really established my business, was writing a handwritten letter. Like you saw me talk to that other guy. Just reach out, make yourself known. I tried on this one, unfortunately it didn't work. And here's why I wanted this one over that one with the for sale sign. Dead bird. Also, check out these shoes, love them. Dead bird. Pretty bird. Can you say pretty bird? Pretty bird.
Pretty bird. Yeah, can you say pretty bird? Pretty bird.
Who knows the movie? Tell me in the comments. All right, forget that. This is for sale if anyone wants to call Rosie Shepherd. This garage, doors, this parking, that building over there, this is 2 units for rent. This is all included. That is all included. It is an established hot rod shop with tons of space, tons of parking, a few lifts, tools, equipment, storage. This is what I wanted. This is what I thought I could get at a pretty fair price. This is what I thought I could rebuild on my own, make a name for myself right in downtown, and be the guy that everybody knows, oh, that's Flying Wheels right downtown in downtown Stewart, right near the water. That's the water right there. Yeah, I know that guy. He's got a great shop. It's beautiful over there. He sells some cool cars. That's what I want. But this guy won't sell it to me. And even still, how much parking? 4, 5 cars here, 2 or 3 there, a couple in the garage. You'll probably get 10 to 12 cars here total. And I'm sure I'd still need approvals from the town, but darn it. That is what I want. Palm trees and an old-fashioned sign right there. Just make this look like a hot rod shop, like it was in the movie Cars. Is really what I want, but that's not happening. So I told you earlier in this video to put yourself out there, introduce yourself to people, let people know what you're up to, what you're searching for, and who knows, maybe if you throw the right bait, it'll catch the right fish. If I used that correctly, I don't even know. Well, anyway, I was on Facebook Marketplace and I found a storage facility. And I went to the storage facility, I couldn't really find it. And as I was driving around, I stumbled upon this place. This is Adil's Auto Center. So Adil has this unit, that unit, that unit, that car, that car, that car, that car, that car, that car, that car. This is his shop. And when I met Adil, I told him what I was looking for and he hooked me up. he gave me the deal. So that's how I got my shop, which I'll show you in just a minute. So I told the deal what I was up to and what I was looking for, and he said, I know just the guy, just the place. I have a friend. That right there, that is my Bronco getting worked on. And right here is my shop. My son Logan and I had lunch with Tim's dad and really got to know him well. He reminded me a lot of my grandfather, Papa Al. I haven't been able to have lunch with him in a long time because we live on the other side of the country. We moved from him. So to sit down and hear somebody else from another generation's wisdom, stories, was really reassuring for me. It was just nice, warm. It felt warm, comfortable, and familiar. And I really got to know this person well, and I'm really looking forward to working here while also helping somebody else along his journey too. So I'm really, really excited to actually have a shop that is extremely affordable, that I can work out of, have my own projects that's not in my driveway, that's not in my yard, get my dealer's license. Let me show you the shop. In the next videos, we'll get working on our dealer's license. Really excited about this. Ending to video number 2. So here we go. We are at my new shop. Now the reason I didn't shoot this video for an entire year was because I wanted an ending. A lot of these videos take time. I don't just shoot it in a day. So you'll see my Land Rover here, my Ford Explorer here. I have, oh, my baby right there. Oh, my baby, my baby. Only 1,500 of these made last year. Rare car. I gotta make a sign that says that, especially in coupes. All right, let's go into my shop. I'm gonna give you a walk around of my shop. This is literally how I started flying wheels the first time. So I'm gonna open it up right here. Now I've already done a video here because it is filled with Honda parts. So these are Honda parts galore. Let's open the garage. So as you can see, I have my baby girl here, my Escalade. I've already started working on the Escalade here. I've done 3 Jeep Wrangler videos that are coming out from here. Here's my Jeep Wrangler hardtop, which was a video how to remove the Jeep Wrangler hardtop, which will be coming out. Here's my Jeep Wrangler grill from a 2023 Jeep Wrangler. We did a Jeep Wrangler conversion to a 2025 Jeep. So we did that project here. We now officially have a place to work on cars, which I'm really excited about. This is coming up again. If you remember my Cadillac Escalade convertible, I honestly hate the roll bar. The clear coat faded, so it's a little dull. The mirror broke on both sides, and I just don't like this roll bar. So this thing is my favorite vehicle of all time. I've owned it 4 years. It was my lake vehicle. Now it's my boat and beach vehicle. I don't care about it at all. We have WeatherTech floor mats in here. It has a 3rd row seat. We're gonna be removing this bar, this roll bar, putting new mirrors, new headlights, and we're going to be painting it again, as well as some welding and fabrication to make this thing usable. Again, I can't wait to start using this car. But even better than that, it just feels good to have my own place again. Yeah, it's filled with things, Honda parts. If anybody's interested in Honda parts, there are so many Honda parts. I'll put a link to the Honda part video that has the whole inventory. I'm not gonna do it again, but I'll put a link here or like in the description to the video with all the Honda parts. If anybody's interested in Honda parts, the owner I'm sharing this shop with, who doesn't use the shop, is just storing all the parts, wants to sell it all in a lot. $7,500 for everything. Every Honda part galore from the 90s and 2000s. If you're interested, watch the video below and reach out to me on Instagram or at www.flying-wheels.com. It just feels good to have tools and a place to work again. That's not my driveway, that's not my garage. So this is it. Next steps, now that we have the location, now that we know what we need to do, we're gonna set up our business name, we're gonna set up our tax ID number, we're gonna set up our sales tax certificate information, and apply for our dealer's license. That's gonna be our video. So I am gonna put a pause on this series for a minute because that's gonna take some time. In the meantime, I have been dangling the carrot of my foreclosure home, my waterfront foreclosure home that we bought at auction from the county, from the bank. Couldn't get the person out of there, they wouldn't leave. So we had to evict them through the courts. The house was in disarray. We rebuilt it, we restored it. We are currently living there. I was gonna sell it and make a bunch of money, but we fell in love with it. So that is gonna be our next series. Now, I told you in video 1 and in this video, we have our own channel just for the car dealership. So if you wanna see car dealership content only, it is, I think it's called Start Your Dealership, or How to Start a Dealership, or How to Get Your Dealer's License, whatever. There is a link in my description to that channel, and I'll put it right here as a card. So you can click on this if it's here or in my description and just follow my other channel to watch car dealer only content. Flying Wheels is like life story based. It's about car dealerships. It's about investments. It's about living and losing and loving and everything. Everything we experience goes on this channel, and I love sharing it with you guys. But if you want just car dealership content only, make sure to follow the other channel in the link in my description. We'll post all of our stories there and some other content as well. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Wow, look at my eyes. How about these baby blues with the light shining on me? All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you all later. I hope this was helpful, entertaining, educational. If it was, just thumbs ups don't cost you anything, and they're really helpful to me. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all later. Adios.